The Dow Jones Futures are moving again, and what happens next could shape tomorrow's economy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, or simply the Dow, is one of the world's most closely followed stock averages. Yet while the average indicates today's market conditions, Dow Jones Futures are all about tomorrow. They enable investors and analysts to predict market direction before the stock market opens its doors. These futures are an economic weather report, foreshadowing what is to come hours, days, or months in advance. So what are Dow Jones Futures, exactly? Simply put, they are agreements that enable traders to place a wager on the direction of the Dow Jones Index in the future. They trade prior to the opening of the actual stock market and after it closes, so they serve as an essential tool in 24-hour international finance. Hedge funds and institutions employ them to hedge portfolios or capitalize on short-term trends, particularly under periods of high volatility or significant world events. These futures don't include purchasing the actual 30 stocks of the Dow. Rather, they are contracts on the performance of the index itself. If there's a perception that the market is going up, traders buy futures. If they think it's going down, they sell. This creates the market tone for what the market will do when it opens, particularly following big news such as interest rate moves, international tensions, or economic releases. Dow Jones Futures are also greatly influenced by international news. For example, if a significant event occurs overnight, like the earnings report for a tech firm in Asia or a political statement in Europe, U.S. markets may still be sleeping. But Dow Futures will respond right away. And this makes them an extremely valuable source of information for financial experts and business executives worldwide. These signals are counted on by many businesses and investors to make quick decisions. For instance, in the event that Dow Futures are significantly lower in the morning, companies may delay making key announcements, or traders may make strategic changes before opening bell. These futures are not figures, they influence billions of dollars in decisions daily. Keep in mind that Dow Jones Futures are affected by a variety of factors: interest rates, inflation expectations, earnings from companies, political events, and natural disasters too. Any one of them can change the sentiment in the futures markets in minutes. That's why market experts pay close attention to these economic calendars, central bank meetings, and other indicators to be able to forecast what futures will next. At other times, the futures market gives a misleading signal. For instance, futures can increase overnight but open in the market lower because of breaking news or shifting investor sentiment. This is why one should never assume Dow Futures are absolute guarantees. They are predictions, not certainties. Nevertheless, with the passage of time, patterns in the futures can provide clues to market psychology and behavior. One of the reasons these futures are so highly watched is because they provide a glimpse into the confidence level of large money players. If futures are up even with negative news, it may mean that investors expect good things for the long haul. Conversely, poor futures during a quiet news period may reveal underlying fear or apprehension. Having an understanding of this dynamic can be an excellent asset for business leaders and policymakers. For viewers or businesses tracking financial trends, monitoring Dow Jones Futures can shed light. You do not have to be a trader to be able to use this information. Whether budgeting decisions, planning a product release, or just wanting to know the economic landscape, monitoring Dow Futures puts you ahead of the game. It's a glimpse at tomorrow's headlines. In summary, Dow Jones Futures aren't merely for Wall Street. They're part of an international financial discussion, sending signals, warning signs, and possibilities for all those who are willing to observe closely. By knowing how these contracts function and what influences their progression, anyone can acquire a wiser opinion about where the economy may be going next.